and breathe. What a game. Wales, Fiji. My goodness, 32 points to 26. My God, this was the best game of the World Cup for me so far. What an incredible performance by both sides. Just absolutely hammering it home. So unfortunate for Fiji. I thought they'd won. I thought they'd won it. I thought they'd won it right at the end. The game has just finished for me. So we're going to go over the full-time reactions, some thoughts, go over some of the key highlights from the games and just talk about it a bit. But my God, what a game this one turned into. Before this one, of course, we did a poll on the channel to get your guys' predictions on this one. You guys had Fiji down as big favourites for this one. 68% of you thought Fiji to take this one compared to 32% for Wales. And my God, we knew this one was going to be a tight old affair, but man, not quite that tight, not quite that tight. Could have done, my heart could do with a little bit less excitement than that. But what a superb game by Fiji. We knew they were going to come into this World Cup off the back of those World Cup warm-ups and look to impress. And my God, they were so impressive in this one. So take a look at the game then. Wales taking over the first 10 minutes of this one. Looked super aggressive, looked in control. They were actually attacking. They were using the backs. They were opening the game a bit. They got a 3-point penalty. They got a try, courtesy of Josh Adams cutting back in on that wing. All started out by George North on a superb line, who had a great game today. Kick was missed by Dan Biggar, but very early on in that game, Wales had that 8-0 lead, and a little bit of me as a Wales supporter went, okay, maybe this game won't be quite as bad as I expected it to be. But after that 10 minutes ended, the game just started opening up, didn't it? After that 10 minutes was over, Wales just sort of, I don't know, switched off or just allowed Fiji to come into the game. Some very weird decision-making by Wales in this one. Fiji got back into this just after that 10-minute marker. They were allowed to have the ball in hand. They were allowed to play the game the way they wanted to, and it just looks so good when they're doing it. Naya Kalevu getting his try in that 13th minute, just splitting two Wales defenders off a loose ball, making a try out of absolutely nothing, as we know he can do, and just sprinting about 40 metres over for his try. Superb from him. Was converted over by Lomani. I think this was a great move. Tella had that first kick. It did not look good at all. A lot of you guys that are, Fiji subscribers, you were saying, what, Tella will still do okay with months out. We knew it was going to be a massive blow for them in this one. I think the switch to Lomani to take the kicks was a great idea really early on. If you see your fly half's not going to do it, you get Lomani in and you get those points on the board, because it really did help them out. They doubled down with another try only a few minutes later through Tagi Tagovailoa, getting over for his try again off the back of Wales just allowing Fiji to play their game, and Fiji doing it brilliantly. Semi Radradra breaking through the line on a superb run, just utilising the power and the pace of those Fijian lads, and Tagi Tagovailoa eventually getting over for that one, and Lomani converting that one as well. So Fiji going up from 8-0 down to 14 points to 8 only 10 minutes later, and you knew this one was going to be a really tight-knit affair. Dan Biggar's boot just about kept Wales in this through the penalties, through the conversions, as well as his on-field play. I did think he'd get a little bit lucky. There was at one point, it looked like he had quite an upright tackle on a Fijian player. And the story of this weekend has been red cards for Tom Curry, yellow cards going in different games. That upright tackle, I thought Dan Biggar got extremely lucky that they didn't go back and review that, because I think that met some certain thresholds that we've seen in other games. George North got himself on that scoreboard in that 29th minute. Nice to see from him. He had a good game today, defensively and in attack. He was one of Wales's major attacking threats, who got himself over the try line. So as we got towards that half-time, Wales in the driving seat. Fiji had the opportunity to maybe close up that board a little bit, and maybe they'll regret not doing it a little bit earlier. They did have a couple penalties down in the Wales half, and they went for the corner, and Wales just about surviving. It's kind of the story of this game, was Wales just surviving in that final 5 metres. Whether you think of it as legal or illegal, because there was certainly a lot of penalties going on in that 5 metre channel, Wales just about surviving it. Fiji didn't go for any more 3 points that I maybe think they should have done just before that half time. So Wales went in 18 points to 14 up at half time, but you have to say that scoreline didn't really reflect for me how the game was going. Fiji felt more in control, they felt more aggressive. Wales just having to back their own defence. I'm not really sure what the game plan was going on in this one for Wales. There were so many odd decisions. Yet again, We saw a game where the opposition have a line out, and Fiji's line out isn't necessarily the best when you talk about, international rugby. Matavesi, one of his sort of more weaker areas is that line out position. I thought Wales would stress test that line out completely. They didn't even jump on some of the lineouts. I don't know what that's about. They just let Fiji play their game, and Fiji said, absolutely, we'll have a bit of that. So Wales went in at half-time. Very lucky. Another one was Ryan Elias. Ryan Elias on the try line. Fiji went over for a try, was knocked on into the try area. We went back and had a look if Ryan Elias had a no-arms tackle to stop him. The referee said it was fine. I'm to disagree with the referee. I'm a Wales supporter. I disagree with the ref on that one. I think Ryan Elias absolutely did not have a rap with the shoulder. He absolutely led with the shoulder, and his arm sort of flailed behind him. I can't believe Wales got away with that one. I think that could have easily been a penalty try, and what would that have done to that final scoreboard? My God, very, very close. Very much like the first half, the second half started out with a very strong attack from Wales. They tried to make the most of just getting straight onto the field, try and get on the scoreboard nice and early. This one came in from Lewis Rees-Zammit off of a bit of a scrappy attack from Wales. They got right up to that 5 metre line, and they sort of ran out of options along the way. Jack Morgan going for a crossfield kick, not what you expect from an open side flanker. Not the best kick in the world, but he's an open side flanker. You can't expect too much. Ball bouncing out, lucky little bounce for Rees-Zammit and managing to run over to score that try. And as we built towards that sort of 50-60 minute mark, you felt like the momentum of the game was beginning to shift. Wales felt a bit more on top. There was that enormous hit by Josh Adams on the wing and managing to smash him back, and then getting that huge turnover and the jackal penalty. Wales felt like they were going on the front foot. Dan Bigger ripping the ball out and then getting that huge 50-22, putting Wales right up the other end of the pitch. You felt like the game was beginning to shift up, and maybe Wales would, absolutely back it a little bit. And yet again, just taking their foot off the gas in that sort of 60th minute, and Fiji, you just can't do it to them. Fiji take the opportunity with both hands, and you have to say, from 60 minutes, I think through to 80, it felt like all Fiji. It sounds kind of weird because Wales do get a score on this scoreboard, but there's a couple of areas to talk about here. About 60 minutes through to about 65 minutes, Fiji are camped in Wales's 22. They are just stuck there. They are going through attack after attack after attack. We had penalty after penalty after penalty, offsides, in at the side, not rolling. They had scrum penalties. The referee today, very bizarre. I was genuinely astonished that we didn't get to see a yellow card for Wales. I think somebody deserved to have a yellow card. So many cynical penalties in that 5 metre channel. Somebody needed to go to the bin. Wales managed to survive just 5 minutes of endless attack without conceding any points. They got that breakaway all the way up to the other end. They had a line out. They go for a driving maul, and the driving maul gets brought down by Tangi Tagavalu, and he gets yellow carded for the one infringement at one end compared to 5 on the other end. I think that's very, very odd from a refereeing standpoint. Further on from that, the yellow card came. I assumed what the referee was thinking was the driving maul was going forward. It's a try-scoring opportunity, and the flankers dragged it down. Therefore, it's a yellow card because it was definitely going to be a penalty. But I would expect from that the follow-up to be a penalty try. But there wasn't a penalty try, so it clearly wasn't like a definite try-scoring opportunity, but more that he removed the opportunity. Okay, fair enough for it to be cynical. I thought very harsh for that singular penalty in that 5 metre channel for Fiji in that second half to suddenly be an immediate yellow card, considering what Wales had going on in their other end. Wales did eventually get a yellow card. Corey Darmowchowski coming onto the field and just tackling the 9 right in front of the referee. About the dumbest decision you can ever do, got yellow carded. So yeah, yellow card, absolutely. You saw that as soon as it happened. I don't know what on earth he was thinking. Now you might be able to tell here, I've sort of gone off kilter. I'm not really following some notes anymore. That's because from this point on, I don't think I made a single note. I was so engaged in this game. Fiji know what the opportunity was. They needed to score 3 tries in about 10 minutes. They had a massive opportunity to maybe squeak something out of this game. They got back on the scoreboard. Josh Tuisova getting over for his try, just going through the sheer force of that man coming on from the bench. We said in the preview video how important that Fijian bench was going to be. Teller managing to convert that one over. And then they managed to get yet another try in the 78th minute. That score being brought to 32 points to 26. Unfortunately, the kick being missed on that one, which would have brought it even closer. But it was still needing to have that converted try to compare to just having the try. You think Wales just need to organise this game. They're walking slowly to the halfway line. It's such an attitude of, we're not going to win this. I felt like the confidence was shattered in Wales. They were doing everything to kill time. You know, the professional fouls that feel very unprofessional for teams to do. I don't like it when teams do all that nonsense. They really try and slow that game down. Fiji had to clear outside their own 22. Liam Williams catches the ball. There's a minute left on the clock. All you want him to do is either just run it into some space, get supported by your own men, or just do a huge up and under and chase your own kick. And he goes and kicks it dead. The one thing you probably don't need to do in this game is give the ball back to Fiji. And then they went straight back on the attack, Fiji moving all the way up to the other end of the field. You could see Wales' discipline massively improved in that final minute. None of them wanted to give away a penalty. Fiji got all the way up. They're on the attack. They have the man overlap. They pass it out wide. And Semi Radradra, the one man you think, oh my God, this is going to be Fiji smashing this game. This is the guy to do it. Drops the ball. Unbelievable. I don't know if I've ever seen Semi Radradra just drop the ball without at least an enormous collision. So Wales survive. Wales survive. But my God, do I feel sorry for Fiji. Even as a Wales supporter, I feel sorry for Fiji in that one because Fiji played out of their skin. That's a superb performance by Fiji. Maybe if they'd had a better kicker, maybe if Muntz was playing in this game, maybe some of those penalties where they went to the corner, they would have taken 3. They already missed 1 kick that would have taken that to 29. They also missed that conversion. It would have been 32-31. And maybe an earlier penalty would have come in. Maybe that landscape of that game would have looked a little bit different. But my God, I thought for all many, Semi Radradra was in the corner. I think that was a superb game from Fiji. I think Wales got lucky in this one. Genuinely, I really do. I think they played very well. Some players really stood out for Wales today. George North, Dan Biggar, Josh Adams, Jack Morgan, all of them putting in an immense defensive effort. But my God, there's some games where you need a referee to be on your side. And I think this was maybe one of Wales's where the referee, for whatever reason, just wasn't handing out yellow cards for what were very cynical penalties. They weren't reviewing some other incidents that happened, which I was like, there's definitely got to be a penalty here to Fiji. Fiji had a try that just about got disallowed from knocking the ball on. They had another try disallowed for a double movement. And then they had that knock on right at the end from Semi Radradra. By all accounts, Fiji absolutely could have won this game. In terms of moving on, beyond this, Wales next week go on to play Portugal, which will, you'd hope, be a slightly easier game for Wales. They'll need to still improve a lot from this game. There were still a lot of things not working from them. Fiji go on to play the Wallabies to probably decide whether or not Fiji get to qualify. If Fiji go on to lose to Australia, I don't really see a way for Fiji to be going on in this pool stage and go on to get to the quarterfinals. But if they do manage to beat Australia, they of course can then rely on hopefully Wales being able to beat Australia, and that would allow Fiji to still qualify as well. But what an incredible game! 32 points to 26. Fiji with a superb performance. Wales just about squeaking this one out. And you've got to say commiserations to Fiji. I really hope something turns up for them in this pool stage because I want to see this Fiji team carry on. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of their pool games, but I really hope something turns up for Fiji so we get to see them in that quarterfinals because I'd love to see that passion, that ambition from some of the bigger names in that team really getting involved with this quarterfinals and see how far Fiji can go. But there we have it, guys. That's some reactions and thoughts for that one. Sorry, this one's a bit long. It's a bit rambly, but my God, what a game this one turned out to be. Absolutely superb. I hope you all enjoyed this one. I'll see you all next time, guys. We'll be doing the Super Brew video tomorrow on Monday, going over the any world ranking shifts up and some Super Brew results as well. So make sure you are subscribed to keep up to date with all the latest videos as they come out. I'll see you all next time, guys. Bye-bye.